were rather intimidated the thought of coming to Australia. They thought they'd be in the middle of the jungle, it'd all be rough. They didn't realise Port Douglas was a great resort.
Now, you put the actors on a bit of a diet, I understand, to make them look more similar to what the
Only the women, not the Japanese actors.
No, I understand. And what sort of diet was it, and how did they take to it?
90% of them took to it very well. We had a dietitian there. It all looked like grass to me. It was just sort of bits of seeds and things. The rest of us, the crew, ate wonderfully. I mean, there was meat, hamburgers. But the women, nearly all of them stuck to it. One or two didn't. But they lost, if you watch the film carefully, the amount of weight they lose through the course of it, because we filmed it in sequence. Yeah. They lost a lot. Glenn Close lost about 2 stone.
But that might be appropriate if they were, you know,
yes,
sort of...
because the action's over 4 years.
Yeah, right. Now, the Second World War is a continuing source of themes and ideas for movie makers. I notice there's another film set to be filmed in this similar area to where Paradise Road is shot. I think it's The Thin Red Line.
Thin Red Line, yes,
which gets
directed by Terry Malick. Yeah.
And another World War II movie, and I understand this week Mel Gibson has run foul of the original Dam Busters because he wants to remake the Dam Busters. Now, what is the source? What is the interest of the Second World War?
Well, there's a lot of good stories. I'm a bit surprised that there's that many. I mean, maybe apart from Thin Red Line and the Dam Busters, there won't be any more. So, which is not all that many.
Bruce, you surprised the way Paradise Road has gone over in America. It's been heavily criticised because it's anti-Japanese. But it's got to be anti-Japanese, hasn't it?
Yes, the fact that the Japanese behaved very badly.
Well, the Japanese were swine in the Second World War. Geneva Convention, forget it. They used every means to win. They were ruthless bastards.
They were tough. There's no way that those prison camps were run like a Club Med.
No.
They just weren't. Yeah. And to try and pretend they were is ludicrous. Yeah. The film isn't attacking the Japanese today, who I think are very different people. Yeah. And my research leads me to believe that the film is very accurate.
Is there any relationship between the criticism the film has received in America and the fact that there's a lot of Japanese money in the entertainment business in America?
I wouldn't like to think so. I think it's more the fact that the Americans are rather ashamed and appalled over the dropping of the bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. I think that's a sore point. Yes. And they're also very upset about the internment of Japanese in America itself, because a lot of Japanese citizens were interned. And I think they have a rather confused idea of what those internment camps were like. They equate them with these prison camps these women were in. They were nothing like that. They were nowhere near as badly treated.
Yeah. Driving Miss Daisy, it was the film of the year, won an Academy Award. You didn't even get a nomination as Best Director. What have you done to upset the Academy?
I don't know. That has happened to other directors. It hadn't happened for 35 years, but it has happened.
Yes.
Just one of those peculiar things. I couldn't have done anything to upset the Academy.
Who is the Academy, anyway? Who are they?
Well, the Academy are people who are invited to join, who are distinguished in some branch or other of filmmaking. Yeah. They're invited to join the Academy, and then they can vote in all the awards things. I mean, I'm now a member myself, and I vote.
And which other Australians are members? Was Chips Rafferty a member? Was Rod Taylor a member?
Probably, I would say certainly.
I think Judy Davis is a member, isn't she?
She certainly would be.
Well, she would have voted for you.
Most of the leading Australians... I should hope so. Most of the leading Australians...
Can members nominate them? Can Judy nominate you for Best Director?
Yes, but she may have been the only one who did.
Yes.
Are you the sort of director that gives people line readings, like, I want you to say it like this, hit the word "the" there rather than the word, you know, love?
Cat.
Yeah. I don't like to sort of stomp on actors, but if I feel the line readings are wrong or erroneous in some way, even if it's fairly slight, yes, I'll give them line readings.
How do they take it?
The better the actors are, the better they take it. It's the bad actors who don't like it. I mean, I've directed actors like Albert Finney and Morgan Freeman, and I've said, look, I think it should be like this, and they say, oh, yeah, OK. They just do it.
Would Dustin Hoffman take a line reading?
I don't want to ever direct Dustin Hoffman to find out. I've heard that he's a nightmare.
Would Val Kilmer take a reading?
He's supposed... You've been doing research. He's supposed to be even worse. He's put directors in hospital with nervous breakdown.
Is there a problem with different language sensibilities? I noticed in, say, Gone with the Wind, the line, frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. That seems to me poor reading. It should have been, I don't give a damn.
It's the way the Americans would say the line. You see, I mean, if I'm directing films in America about Americans from American scripts, I have to be aware of the fact that they don't speak like we do in Australia.
Right.
and that the nuances are different. And I can't direct them as if I'm directing Australians. I have to be aware of how things are done there.
Right.
Clark Gable said it properly,
Yeah.
according to his own culture. Of course, no one in the film tried to do a southern accent, which today they probably would.
Do they really? I mean, is that true? They do say, "I don't give a bugger" or what have you.
I'd have to look at that again.
Yeah.
Now, you obviously work all over the world and you can pick and choose projects. Do scripts come to you by the truckload? And how do you push them away to create some space to do your own, well, you know, your own projects?
Well, a lot of scripts do come. But most of them are so terrible that you really only have to read like 10 or 15 pages and give them up, so it's not a huge amount of work. And if, on the other hand, they're very good or very exciting, then I'm quite thrilled to read them. And then I'll ring up and think, oh, am I lucky this came through the door?
Yeah.
You know, and then I'll...
And is that done through a sort of an agent system, or can you ring up whoever it is might send you the script? Let's say it was, well, I don't know, you know, Robert Town, writer of Chinatown,
I can,
classics.
I can call whoever sent it. I mean, some of them do come through agents, but people just stop me in the street or shove them into my hand or look me up in the phone book. That's an easy way of doing it.
Right, right.
I believe you don't look at your own films back all that often, Bruce. Is this the case? You'll only look at them once.
I don't look at them once they're completed. I mean, some of those old films like Don's Party or Break 'em Around and everything, I've never looked at them again.
But surely you've got to learn by your mistakes, Bruce. Surely you've got to... Surely that's a lesson.
I think if I looked at them again, I'd see too many mistakes. I just look at them and think, I could have done it all so much better. So I don't want to depress myself. I just think about the films I'm going to do in future.
And can you tell if a film's going to be a dud? I noticed a comment of yours in the making of A Good Man in Africa with Sean Connery. You felt it was a dud cast, dud script, dud direction. Did you feel this at the time? And if so, why did you finish the film?
Do I have to answer this in front of all these people? I didn't think it was a dud cast.
Right.
It was a dud script, which was largely my fault, and then once it was a dud script, there's nothing much you can do. I was the captain of the Titanic. There was nothing. It just simply wasn't going to work.
And you knew it at the time.
And I can hardly hide the fact now.
You knew it at the time.
I did know it, but other films I've made, I thought they were terrible, and they turned out to be quite successful.
Was the Robe was filmed in sequence as well, wasn't it?
Black Robe.
Black
Yes,
Robe.
it was.
Sorry, yes.
It was.
Yeah, under extraordinary conditions.
Yes, because that went from summer into winter, and we had to get the progression of the... Yeah, it went into the middle of winter in Canada. It was dreadfully cold.
And I believe with that film, there was an interest expressed for Robert De Niro, but Robert would only read the script if there was $8 million put on the table for him.
That's right. It's a lot of money to read a script.
That's just crazy, isn't it?
Well, he's a great actor. He's a famous actor. I mean, he can pick and choose anything he wants.
Would he take?
He can make those kind of demands.
Would he take a line reading?
You know, I believe he would. Friends of mine who work with him said he's extremely good to direct. He's fine. Yeah, he would.
Yeah. Well, I suppose for $8 million he would.
Yes, why not?
Can I ask about the promotion of Paradise Road? You seem to have obviously are available and can do the promotion of it, but is this because you feel closer to this project in some way than I'm right in thinking, you know, you were impressed by this piece of music and you wanted to find the story out of this piece of music?
Well, yes, because I researched it and then did the script, and a lot of Australians are concerned with the story, and it was this theatre of the war. I do feel very close to it, much more than I have, I think, for any films I've done for many years. And you know, I have a personal stake in it.
And is this the area you'd like to move into, or, you know, I noticed...
You mean performing?
Oh, no. No, what I meant was by sticking closer to subjects that were, how do I put this, you know, that you originate, that somehow strike a chord in you more than doing, you know... Yes,
well, it's not always possible to do it, because there's a number of projects that I really wanted to do that I've not been able to get off the ground, and then in order to get an income, I've had to turn around and do things that perhaps I wasn't quite so close to. But ideally, yes, that would be the best way to work.
And what are you working on next?
Well, I have a novel that I've bought, set in Australia, set in David Jones in 1959, called The Women in Black, by a wonderful Australian novelist called Madeline St. John. I bought the novel and I'm doing an adaptation of it.
All right, and is there finance close or nearby, or was this
well,
yet to be...
until I have the script done and we give it to people, we don't know.
Right.
And just because I'm involved and I've done a lot of films doesn't mean that they rush in and say, oh, look, Bruce, here's a few $1 million. They won't do that. They'll read the script. But it's a great book, and I'm
casting, you're thinking Judy Davis in this inst, or
Robert De Niro?
Judy Davis would be good in just about anything.
Yeah. Well, that is a big rap, isn't it?
And on that cheerful note, we wish Bruce all the best with Paradise Road and the Women in Black. And we ask everybody, whether they're at home or here in the Scott Miller, what are you looking at, to get out their jaffers and rattle them and spill their popcorn as a way of thanking Bruce Beresford.
Director's director, you can afford. Here on our set, here for a talk, a Hollywood man, Bruce Beresford. Bruce Beresford.
There are times on board the BG when all the jobs are done and there's a lot of space to fill. This is one of those times.
Novus 9, Dog Router, ETA?
18 months at current speed, Master, barring comet interference.
Oh, can't we get any more speed, Merkin? Who knows what perils our mysterious human friend is in?
Well, we could dump psilocybin, Master, but we run the risk of going out of horizontal phase.
No, we don't want that to happen again.
Master, if we were to use the Sarich time machine, we could be on our way back.
The Sarich has been impounded, Dog Router, ever since the commander's penis was found in an entertainer's beer in 1999. Do I need to remind you?
Of course, Master. Very wise.
No, 18 months. Gives us time to practice our skills and learn some 20th century games. Any suggestions, Merkin?
Yes, Master. I was reading about a game called the Rugby League.
Ah, I know it well. You need a large area to savour it fully, but a magnificent spectacle in the hands of professionals.
People used to pass the time walking their dogs, Master. That could be a rewarding distraction.
I think you need a dog for that, Dog Router. And I haven't seen too many of those on board recently.
Sex was a very popular pastime back then, Master. Could we learn some skills from the ancient text of the Kama Sutra?
Don't be ridiculous, Grade 1. Germ sharing is hardly a sport I'd condone on board the BG. No, we need a game that everyone can play. I know! Cricket! Yes, cricket! It was very popular, it encourages fair play, and it can last up to 5 days. I'll have no argument. Cricket it is. I want everyone on board the Star Deck in authentic cricket costume for a test match.
Yes, out!
I'm not walking on that. Not on 99 runs.
You were plumb, Master.
I'm not out.
You cheating mongrel. You were standing in front of the wicket. You'd shouldered arms, the ball was of a good length and got you below the knee roll, right on middle stump.
You're a cheat, mate. You were so out. You were out.
My finger's up, Master.
A replay. I demand a replay.
Okay, then, have your stinking replay. But remember this, O'Leary, you don't have to wait to hear the roar from the crowd to know when the umpire's got his finger up. Out! Gone!
Out, gone!
Off the pitch!
Yeah.
Well, you can all get stuffed. Henceforth, cricket is banned on the BG.
My will sinks without a trace when the keyboard's in the open space. It's Jamie. He feels the music in this place.
Yes, it's been an exciting week for Australian cricket. In fact, I am on record as saying it's the most exciting week for Australian cricket ever. There are so many red-hot issues choked up behind the S-band of Australian cricket at the moment, it's hard to know where to start. Obviously, Roy, we need to lock horns about the Australian captaincy and Mark Taylor in particular. Critics have been on the bag all week. Firstly, Greg Chappell came out, I think, in the Sunday paper and said that Mark Taylor was unfit, i.e. mad, and should not be in charge. Ian Chappell, I think, described the the team as the worst he had ever seen, which was rum coming from him. And I noticed that Bob Simpson, who should know because he was the former coach, has described the captaincy as being allowed to fester. And it's not a term I like because it produces the image of a boil that's very pussy that needs to be lanced with a lot of gear shooting out of it. No, it's not an attractive sight. But Roy, where are you tonight, standing on the Taylor position vis-a-vis the captaincy?
Actually, I think he is the captain.
Yes.
He's the one with C beside his name.
Yeah.
That's what the selectors have deigned.
Yeah.
He is the captain, and I think we have a duty. I think it's un-Australian to criticise him.
Yeah.
Because he is the captain. I remember look, it hurts if you're overseas and you are being criticised by your own. I think there should be something like the London Convention that applies to politicians. When you're overseas, you do not poo in your own nest. You do not criticise your own. Look, I remember years ago when Stacky and I were opening the innings and we'd had a run of outs. Because Stacky and I had a bet on as to who could run the other out. And I'd run him out 4 times on the trot very early on, you know, call him through. Yeah, it's on. You know, you'd get halfway up and say, no, it's not. Walk back, leave it good. Les Favell got us aside, read us the rider. Listen, you two buffoons. Listen, you two idiots.
You're here to play cricket.
You're here to play the bloody country. Blah, 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 blah. Win, blah, 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 blah. Went outside, met the press and said, I stand by Slaven and Stackpole. They are doing their best for Australia. And that's how it should be. Solidarity, brother. I'm with Mark Taylor until he's discarded. Then we'll trash him as being a fat idiot who lost it, who went a little bit crazy, and sure, these things happen.
How mad
That's
is
the rough and tumble of international cricket.
How mad is he? I mean, is he just sort of a little bit mad? You know, he's obviously the eyes are close together and he can't say much. But you know, inside there, I think Greg Chappell's image was a whirlpool. I might have mentioned this in other media commitments. A whirlpool.
What a washing machine.
Yeah, well, that's right. Yeah.
It's a washing machine.
A twin tub. Something's going there and something's going there.
Yeah.
Different processes in each part of the brain box.
Well, no one's putting it from one side to the other. It's just the same side whirling about all the time. If we could use the washing machine imagery.
No, why not?
And why not?
Yeah, that's right. And then a bit of Omo or Rinso goes in as well and complicates Purcell, complicates. Cold wash. Has he thought about the cold wash? Maybe that's the thing.
That's it.
He's got hot water in the cold wash.
Someone's pushing the wrong knob. With Mark Taylor. He's a knob loose. He's a loose knob.
A loose knob in a country far away. Oh, no, I think you're absolutely right. You know, that going overseas just to dump on Australians. I mean, I've had enough of that.
I don't like it.
Now,
Australia.
Channel 9 have delayed the telecast of the cricket till the snoggin hour, as I'd call it. Let's face it, on Thursday, we were denied the privilege of seeing 8 wickets go down in a session. That was Thursday night. And then on Friday night, we were denied seeing 2 batters, obviously carry their bats for a whole session. They didn't bother the gatekeeper once. These were magic moments, Roy. These were moments kiddies would live for.
Kiddies should have seen.
And you know, to see 8 Australian wickets go down in a session, well, you'd remember that.
Kiddies should have seen the inventors of the game teaching them how to play the game.
Indeed.
That's what kiddies were denied.
And there's so much from that first ball of a test match. I know other scribes have written about this extensively. The first one sets the agenda. To be denied that is really to not have the story fully told.
I know.
It's like the dam busters, if I could use that, without the bouncing bomb going towards the wall.
That's right.
Those who've seen the picture.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a big piece
of a washing machine without any water.
Or Omo.
All that,
no electricity.
Yeah, no electricity, no power.
No power. Now, the other thing...
Look, just on that, I do want to know what's going on. I mean, we have a law, an anti-siphoning law in this country. It's as clear as mud. It's clear as the light of day. Kerry Packer is flouting the law. It's un-Australian. Why isn't Alan Fells or Richard Alston, whom we invited onto this program to defend it, and he refused because he's as gutless as Mark Taylor. He's as gutless as the Shark. Oh, yes, he was invited. Kerry Packer should have been taken out, trousered, turned around, bent over the front of a car and tarred and feathered around the back door.
And then told to go and put the cricket on.
And put the bloody cricket on, like tonight. I wanted to watch it.
Yeah.
I wanted to watch it at 9:30. We're on here, I know, but I was going to watch it anyway. I was going to have a monitor up there where I can see the cricket.
And what do we have to do?
We've got instead on that bloody Channel 9, we've got the world's funniest bloody commercials. Hey, the next person I see from Channel 9, I'm going to king hit him. I will bloody king hit him.
Is there any way of finding out the score, Roy?
Well, I've got, mercifully, the ABC is covering it on radio.
Oh, well, let's check it.
Would be right into the zone and Pickens out again, but they have not bowled a good line. This morning, Kaprovic got more at the wicket than anything we've seen.
Is that pretty true?
That'd be Fred. Boring as senseless as usual.
Been bowling with a new ball.
Give us a score!
When you've got to make people play when you've got a new ball in your hand. And if you've got a little bit of help in the wicket, you've got to cut your pace down, make sure you make them play. But they haven't done that at all.
So true.
And out there, as we've been talking,
them play.
watching this morning,
I'd say Taylor and Elliott are still in.
Yeah, sounds like it.
We've seen one or two go, but what
They've lost the ball, I think.
Oh, the ball's been out of shape.
That's right. They've got that
They've got the
device.
rings out.
Excellent mystery this afternoon. The umbrellas are up here at
Never.
it's raining. Well,
Australia's
time for the world's funniest commercial.
Yeah, let's go. Now it's a tremendous thrill to move on and welcome to the Scott Miller, a woman who is here briefly after a sellout season at the Snood Lounge in Las Vegas at Caesar's Palace, and she leaves tomorrow to represent this nation in a Shake Your Booty blow-off at the Atlantic City Convention Centre. Tonight she's supported by the brand new Beatles, the Nissan Cedrics, and laying the rubber on the road, the steel-belted, radial-clad Ford V8s. The tune Michael Jackson's Working Day and Night. Australia, can you go totally mad, Mark Taylor style, as you welcome to the Bug House the Sheila who shakes, the Siren of the Sparkle, the Princess of the Polka, Miss Jane Scully!
Hey, work and day, do it, do it, do it.
That blur of frenzy was the Bruce and Demi marriage blues arrangement of Working Day and Night, and obviously the Beatles and the Nissan Cedrics crawling from the wreckage, but still seeing the funny side of long weekend travel. The Ford V8's many happy hours of trouble-free motoring ahead of them with the steel cat boots on. And what about Jane in the driver's seat? A final hit out that has the up-and-coming shake your booty blow-off in the bag. Now, Roy, midweek we saw the future of athletics with the Donovan Bailey-Michael Johnson race over 150 metres in Canada. It turned out to fail to deliver because only one of the competitors completed the course. How did you see it? Do you think it has a future, you know, at this elite level of competition?
I thought the Mitchell kid he powdered.
Yeah, Michael.
Yeah. I thought if he was as good as the raps he gave himself before the off, you know, I'm the bloody fastest, you know,
I'll beat him.
by heaps, I'll beat him. Why didn't he try and beat him with one bloody leg?
Yeah, that's true.
He just gave up on the hop.
Yeah.
He could have hopped. I mean, if he's as good as he said he was, he could have bloody hopped through.
Just imagine hopping past him, cocking a snoot as he went by. Yeah,
one leg, bro.
Bailey. One on the floor.
Yeah. Well, that's what I think people wanted to see. Look, instead of a gutless, pillowy, sharky, bloody tailory, Kerry Packer sort of, got to listen to the radio, nothing on TV sort of bloody performance.
Roy, obviously took me back many, many years to the time you challenged Valery Borsov, the great Russian athlete, to I think you ran over 74 metres of Watford Oval in Lithgow.
We did.
I think that the up for grabs was a mystery TAB trifecta ticket, and that was $1 and a pollywobble.
That's right.
But by gee, it pulled a big crowd.
Well, that was a lot of money. No, it was good. It was good. We had to run for 70 metres, then turn around and insert a chain into the buttocks and clench it. And pull a truckload of Finley's furniture just with the buttocks. You know. It was terrific.
The second part of that I overlooked completely. I don't know how.
Well, that was the bit people wanted to see. You know, when you can see blokes running.
I saw the bit running up to the chain.
Oh!
I forgot the rest.
Well, you turned away and walked off.
Turned away and thought, oh, Roy's won easily. How'd you go on that turn left?
I lost.
Oh, you lost?
It fell out. Valerie had tremendous sphincter strength.
Well, you know, is there any ever talk of a rematch?
Yes, there is.
If you could do it for the kiddies, like the Children's Hospital or something like that, I'm sure you'd get a very big crowd. Oh, yes. Memories, Roy. And television...
Well, I've challenged him, that gutless bloody idiot. Come on, Valerie, bring the buttocks back down under, fella.
He says he's running on one buttock these days, so I can't do it.
Well, he broke one buttock years ago, didn't he?
That's true. Now it's time to welcome to the Bug House a man who creates television, and I've admired his work for many, many years now from a very, 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 very careful distance. In fact, each week, probably 100,000 people bump into him at traffic lights and scream, Dave, love your work. If you've clocked, don't forget your toothbrush, Animal Hospital looking good, get away our house, you'll enjoy our next guest. Nissan Cedric, can you recreate the magic of the golden years of television as you slide down the slippery pole with the buttocks clench and give us the David Lyle story?
It's this very man, it is mine, he holds the plans of Channel 9. Yes, this is the bloke, sniffs the ideas, cook for Channel 9. He knows the dial, he holds the file, makes a nice pie, while creating the chime for Channel 9. Still the one, David makes it happen. Still the one, let's get him rapping. Here for a while is David Lyle.
Thanks very much for coming in, David, and obviously Channel 9 in everybody's mind, especially in the Bug House here tonight. Let's have a look at some of your handiwork for 9. I think we've got a couple of clips here, one from the golden years where you set up the program, and then we leap into, I think it might be a clip taken from the 30 years of television, a compile program you put together. Let's have a look at it now.
Hello, Fun Devils. Tonight, the golden years of television goes into overdrive. I'm up here, high with excitement, looking down on a television feast we'd brought up from the archives. Everybody falls in love somehow. I've always wanted to do that.
Out of the West came one of the best bonanza. My three sons with a ranch and a gun and a mighty fine cowboy song. Then, of course, that guy with a horse Lone Ranger. The lawman had a job to be done while Maverick played it cool.
1,000? I'm just starting. They call me Billy the Kid. Good luck.
David, you've been repackaging television for years now. Now, let's talk about duds. What's the worst show on Australian television in 1997?
Oh, in 97? Well, the worst show ever was a show called Be Our Guest.
Yes.
And the people who worked on it called it Bog. And it was made here in this studio, as it turns out.
You were in charge?
No, there are a lot of people. Not many people will admit to having had something to do with it. It was a cross between a sitcom, a serial, a variety show, and it had strange sort of interviews in the middle of it.
Sort of like Club Buggery.
Yes, actually, the more I guess it goes to show that what goes around will come and bite you on the bum again.
Now, 97, have you got any... You must have thought, bloody hell, that's a terrible show when you've watched a lot of things.
What about concentration? Is that a...
I don't like... It's so easy to kick Channel 7 when they're down. No, concentration is... I think it's a show struggling to find itself, and I think, a bit like Mark Taylor, we should let it go and until it's finally cancelled.
Do you think the change of personnel and the captaincy of Wheel of Fortune has dented there?
Tragic. And really, it's a national disgrace. You guys have actually been a little bit soft on them, I think.
Yes.
And I mean, you've been generous.
Look, Rob Elliott's doing a good job, isn't he?
We've tried to be positive and follow the Baby John Burgess story more than focus on what he's left behind.
But it's like the Louvre leaving outside in the gut of the Mona Lisa, Channel 7 letting go of Baby John Burgess.
Right, that's a very big rap for Baby John.
Now, the Mona Lisa.
The Mona Lisa of Australian television.
Smile, you know, jaunty look.
Yeah. What, enigmatic?
Yeah.
So it was your idea for him to shave the mo off so he looked more like the Mona Lisa?
No, I am... Actually, he did that before. One of my great pieces of advice was to Don Burke saying, the beard, mate, get rid of the beard. That'll never work, not with the beard.
Was it your idea with Don Burke for the thumb in the pocket? Because that bloody drives me crazy. Get your bloody thumb out. I mean, doesn't anyone direct this show?
Well, it's Don's show from top to bottom. It really is his
pure
thing.
Don.
It's Don.
Now...
Including the beard.
Up against us tonight is the wonderful world...
The world's funniest commercials.
Yeah, the world's funniest commercial. Is that a repeat or is that a brand new episode?
It is a repeat because
right.
A very wise old man told me that if it's worth watching once, it'll be worth watching a number of times.
Why aren't we watching the cricket? We know it's raining, but
because, I mean, we offered it to you guys, to your ABC.
But you can't tell me, David Lyle, here tonight in the Bug House, that you've got the phones running hot at Channel 9 saying, thank Christ, the world's funniest commercials is on and not the cricket. I've only missed it the first 20 times. I mean, I can understand the argument when it's something like the footy show and you have the very funny T.E. Vorton, the funniest man in Australia, on, fronting the program. I can understand that. No one would want to watch Australians get out. But tonight, David Lyle, surely you could have persuaded somebody up there that this program wasn't worth putting to air. We could save it for, say, 7 o'clock on Monday night and have a really good red hot go then with it.
It's the kiddies. As you so rightly said, think of the kiddies. Do you want them to watch this? How depressing it would be for them. Dragging their weary little legs to school on Monday or Tuesday if they're going to take the holiday, thinking of what's happened to Australia.
So you prefer
the
ABC or SBS to offend kiddies?
Well, we know that no children watch the ABC or SBS because it's on a higher plane for them. And that's why we offered it. Your ABC, needing the money, take about $2 million worth of programming. And your Brian John said no.
So you make shows for kiddies. It's about kiddies.
Oh,
it's a
we
kiddies
love
network.
kiddies. We love families. Yes. We love everyone.
Tell me, was it your idea to put Sophie Lee with cartoons? Was this...
was, you see. That was the family appeal.
Was this to sell raincoats or something?
No, we figured there were a lot of children who needed growing up, and they were on around about the 11, 12. There were a number of boys.
It was a family show.
That's right. We wanted to help them. We called it rites of passage.
Now, let me get this right. You think that the ABC should have taken this program off and put on the rain from London instead with, say, you know, Greg Chappell talking about the problems of the pitch, or, you know, Fat Cat Richie.
Which would be an hour's advertisement for Channel 9.
Well, possibly, but then the way I look at it, you would have saved the money, and then the show would go past July, for instance.
True. Yeah,
so you know, these are tricky times.
Very tricky times.
You've got to make the dollar go.
Obviously, hundreds of ideas come across your desk saying, you know, must have on TV, must have on TV. What's the worst one, Jerry? What's the most stupid one?
The most having just said that I support family values, I support them in the home. Parenting shows. Every person who leaves television to have a bit of maternity or paternity leave comes back with a child and a parenting program. And they're everywhere.
What would the nature of the gig be?
Well, it'd be infotainment, and it would be little magazine stories on how to change nappies. And, I mean, if you had to wait for a week to find out how to change nappies, you can see the problem. And what to do with children who haven't got over having watched Sophie Lee, stuff like that.
Right. See, now, of a more game show variety, what are the craziest game shows?
There was one that's intriguing. No.
You can say it. No, everybody's watching the commercial program.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Everybody's got 9.
No, there was one that involved guessing footballers' names by phonetic clues, which I found intriguing. I actually kind of liked it, but I wasn't too sure. What do you say? I've never understood Wheel of Fortune's popularity around the world.
Burgess.
Well, it was Baby John.
Baby John.
I mean,
but I think on the footy show last week you had, or sometime, recently, you had players' bottoms, and people had to identify the bare bottoms.
I see that as being a clip
There's
show.
a game show in that, isn't there, David?
But if you look deeply into it,
yes. Would that appeal to Kerry, a show like that?
I don't think so, because as you remember, we had Australia's funniest home... No, it was Australia's funniest home videos, the naughty version.
Yeah, naughty.
Yes, and if you think of all the clip shows, that would be the father of them all.
Kerry didn't like it.
He wasn't keen on that, no.
Right. Now, with Don't Forget Your Toothbrush, which was a very successful program, so it would seem, why wasn't it picked up for a second series?
It didn't rate terribly highly, which is a great pity. I really did. It was one of the shows I really loved. I really thought that it was good. I thought it was well produced. I thought Tim was terrific in it, and it used to make me laugh. But it didn't make enough members of the public laugh. It was sandwiched between Blue Heelers and Melrose Place when Melrose Place was rating. So it meant those are they were fairly strong shows. And so it didn't give it much room to breathe. It was a great pity.
It was. So what does Tim do these days? I mean, I see him doing Nintendo ads, but what's he do? Does he come in and hang around the station? Does he clock on at 9 in the morning?
No, we talk. He's been doing a couple of pilots and some other ideas we're looking at. The problem that we have is that we've got a lot of shows that are doing quite well. I mean, it's, the other problem's a much worse one. Yeah. So we don't have a lot of slots, but we are playing around with something at the moment, which I think might happen.
Last year we produced here a program called Australia's Funniest Doors.
No, the world's funniest doors.
The world's funniest doors, sorry. We went international.
The very best of the world's...
No.
Bloopers and outtakes of the world's funniest doors.
No, it was presented by Ian Terps.
Number 1, or was it number 2? Because we find if you start with number 2, it makes everyone think, it must have been a success before.
That's right. Well, this was a 40-parter, half hour, with basically doors from all over the world, and I'm just wondering why a program like that wouldn't work on, say, free-to-air television. We've had to place it with cable. Australis have kindly come on board with it, and they've turned it into a...
And they're giving you $20 a pop for it.
That's right, per viewer.
Yeah.
And so far there's no money.
Which is $40,
yeah. That's right.
You'd have to have the right person present it. Maybe Richo.
No, I think you need someone who can make doors seem as funny as they truly are, of course. There are a couple of actors I could name, but I'm leaving that one alone.
Now, when it comes to overseas, we're in a phase of repackaging everything. What are they up to overseas? I noticed Real TV is one of your programs, and this seems to me the idea of you can repackage the news and find things. Do you reckon you'll ever get to the stage of repackaging Monday night's news and turning it round at 8:30 with a presenter?
Well, probably if you could sort of put it in with a bit of funniest home videos as well, I think you will get the best of the world's greatest clip shows in times to come.
And what about the world's funniest executions? They're
Well, no, that one really hasn't taken off. It's so hard to get right, I find.
Hard to get
but who knows?
Well, what is happening? What is happening in this area overseas? Is there anything left to repackage?
No, you see, the terrible thing about this is that all the stuff is, a lot of it is non-exclusive. So that there are people who have a shot of a car blowing up or a train running off the rails or something, and they're selling it all around the world.
Oh, how dare they?
Yes, and so you buy it in good faith, and then you find that another 20 people have bought it.
Well, I think the program, and I don't, obviously problems with Channel 7, I thought the funniest home improvements, I thought that was almost down the bottom there. And I'd like to think that there was a fair way to go, that was, say, mid-barrel. The funniest home improvements, I thought, God almighty, we're in a lot of trouble here. But, what is a bright, in this area of repackaging, what is a bright spot? I mean, Roy suggested the executions, I've suggested the doors. Where can we go from
Well, if the Northern Territory hadn't let us down with those laws and changing them,
yes,
but there you go.
Yeah, that's true.
What can you hope for? No, I think the brightest spot is that you get them all, and it's the very best of the world's worst clip shows.
Right.
That's the way I see it. 26 part. Yeah. Don't quibble.
Yes. Well, we might borrow that idea.
Yeah, and run with it.
Copyright.
And on that winning note, it's time to wish David all the very best with his ideas in television caper. Oh, it's an oxymoron, isn't it? And I ask all Club Buggery viewers when they're there at home or here in the Scott Miller, what are you looking at, to get them out and thank David Lyle.
He holds the fire, makes a nice pile while creating the style for Channel 9. Still the one David makes it happen. Still the one we got him rapping. Here for a while was David Lyle.
I hope the rain's still tumbling down there at Edgbaston. Roy, what have you got for me?
Women's Grand Slam in tennis, but her career was
French
cut
Open?
short by a horse riding accident.
I think it's talkback.
Both Hingis and Conley had very similar games.
Talkback.
And
it's always an excuse for a better idea, isn't it?
It is indeed. Well, we might leave that there. And Roy, look, I feel disappointed.
It is a problem for them when it rains, isn't it? Usually they love it when it rains. They talk about, great knocks they've seen years ago and what's the best 200 you'd ever seen, Neville? And
chocolate cakes. When Johners was alive.
Johners, yeah.
With the black and whiters, the brown and whiters, the shoes.
That's right, the shoes, yeah.
Nice.
Magic moments.
Yeah.
I'm actually glad they're not bloody showing the cricket. I think it's better with just a photograph of Mark Taylor taped to your television screen and turn on the radio and just
ABC.
imagine it.
Yeah, that's right. And when he gets out, you pin up, Matthew Elliott or Mark Waugh, and when he gets out, on and on you go. Yeah. And then you can keep your scorebook without having to look at the ads and everything like that.
And show the kiddies the next morning.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Look at this.
Now it's a tremendous thrill to feature in the Bug House a man. Well, this man can do anything in renovation, cementing, roofing, re-stumping, rewiring. No matter what it is, if you've got crazy pavers to lay, for God's sake, give him a bell. To totally re-renovate the tune, if that's possible, San Francisco Bay Blues, can you welcome to the stool the one-man wizard, the big, the bustling, the bouncing, Bruce English!
You're here live on Club Buggery in Scott Miller. What are you looking at?
Now we come to that moment in the show where we celebrate your endeavour with the threads here in Club Buggery. And before we go to this week's winners, let's have a look at the happy couple who greeted the judge this time last week. Roy!
Yes, they were celebrating a wedding anniversary this week. Actually, it's Karen and Michael Guilford who won last week, and we sent them off to the Wentworth Park Dogs.
This is living.
Yeah, there they go. What a night they had. Not many people there, but that's an advantage. They saw a favourite of ours, that's Rooting Prince, lovely fellow. A doner kebab, Yes, please. Very, very nice. Fully sated, off to have a bet. Number 4, please. Rooting Prince. Yep, all the best. Whoa! And they're uncertain whether he won or not. I think he did. And then they bumped into the State of Origin, boys.
This is living.
Oh, yes. What a night.
Memories. Look, this week the prizes just get better and better. We've got the stick-on tats to take home and spread around when least looking. Ian Terp's Terpy's CD, which is now number 1. It's crossed over from
it's number 1 in America, isn't it?
That's right. It's got number 1 in America on the Talk of the Town chart. There's not a lot of records on the Talk of the Town chart, but this is number 1. We've got the Club Buggery cards, and look, something very, very special. Jane had a bit of a clean-out this week and found this and was able to send this in to us. I hope it's not flaring too much. A magnificent souvenir of a night in the club. Roy, plus, of course, all that plus.
Plus, we're sending a couple of lucky ducks, HG, off to the sumo wrestling! Friday night, this is what you'll see. Konnichiwa, konnichiwa! Look at that, look at that! Such strength! That's what you're going to see, because this is living.
This is living. This is living.
Oh, what's your name?
Anne.
Anne and?
Joe.
Have you seen sumo before?
No, but I'm looking forward to it.
Have you dreamt of seeing sumo? Have you been thinking sumo all week?
I will be.
You will be. I think Friday night you're off to, you lucky duck. There you go, and you will be going. You're going to take the challenge because...
This is living.
Indeed it is.
My will sinks without a trace whenever I tune into the bass. This is Leon. Leon gets us off our face.
Sadly, we come to the end of another show. Roy, where are you off to this week?
Actually, I'm going to go and see the sumo, obviously.
Yes.
Next weekend. I can't get enough of sumo. I can't get enough of fat blokes. But tomorrow night I'm off to Feedback, HG, in Newtown in Sydney to see Merge. Merge are playing.
God almighty, that'll be a night.
I hope they're loud enough.
Right, yes, that would be the problem with Merge, wouldn't
Yeah.
they? Now, look, this week, obviously on Wednesday night, I'll be driving down with Liz Hayes and a couple of other Channel 9 personalities to...
David's coming. I think Kerry's coming.
Is he? They're going to... Oh, well, they'll have to travel in the back, Roy, because there'll be you, me and Liz up the front and David and Kerry in the back. Oh, God, I hope we make it.
Get those two together.
Anyway, we'll be going down to the MCG for the Maroons v Blues and would love to see at least 30-odd people from the Melbourne area. You know, don't feel as though if you live in Carlton Fitzroy, you have to come down, but at Deer Park, maybe, or out...
Don't feel as if you've got to pay to get in.
No, you'll be able to come along and get in free.
Just say, hello, I'm interested in the rugby league, and I'll let you in.
Roy and HG said I could come in, can I? And you'll be right.
Can I, please?
Now, this week, because it's the... I've got a bit of driving to do, but this weekend, because it's a long weekend, I'm going out to visit the Queensland Driver Reviver stops. These are places where, if you are driving, pull over, get a cup of tea and a bit of a Kit Kat and maybe a nice Jats biscuit with a bit of cheese on it or a nice Vovo if they still make them. I'm sure Driver Reviver spots in Queensland will have plenty on supply. There's one I'm aiming for is up round the on the Burnett Highway, out the back of Rockhampton. It's Delulu. There's a tremendous Driver Reviver stop there, and I'll be there probably Sunday about 4 in the morning. As we sign off from the Scott Miller, what are you looking at? Roy and I'd like to thank Bruce Beresford, David Lyle, Bruce English, Jane Scully, the Ford V8s, the Nissan Cedrics, the brand new Beatles and Ian Terp's Terpy, and you at home on the flop and fiddle, thanks once again for taking an interest in variety, and of course everybody here as well. Finally, it's time for Act 12 in the Battle of the Sounds, and remember, you will decide the 1997 winner in the battle. The first prize is to be announced next week, but I can let you in on a secret. It's 12 weeks of non-air conditioned comfort on the Fair Princess. So that's business as usual on the big boat. Tonight's selections, what's my scene, Australian white goods customers? Can you bang the fridge doors and slap up and down the dishwashers and washing machine lids as a way of floating out onto the beat, into the centre stage, under the Battle of the Sounds banner, Mr. Dave Faulkner. See you next week.
Wondering lately, oh baby, tell say, or so they say. But we know there's a much better way any day. Another thing I've been wondering lately, am I crazy to believe in ideals